probably would see.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order, 6:04. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Flossie,
Here.
Durham,
Here.
Fitzgerald,
Here.
Hannah, here, Jordan, King,
Here.
McCusker, present, Nolan, here, Stockdale,
Here.
8 present.
Thank you. The minutes of the regular meeting was held on April 19th, and the Budget Committee of the whole meeting was held on April 26th. They're attached for your review. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Anybody have any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There is no student report this evening.
The only thing I had in addition to my written report is I'd like to give a shout out to Brian Hope, who was selected as the April Student of the Month for the high school, and also to the Envirothon teams that competed, I believe 2 weeks ago at the regional competition. The one team placed 5th and the other placed 8th, which is great, and the 5th place team is going on to the state competition next week.
Where's that at? Sorry.
I think it's, I don't know for sure, it's in Turkey.
I think that's where they go.
I think that's where it is,
I think that's where they've gone in the past. I was just
or Penn State, I don't.
curious. It was Hershey in the past,
Okay.
so. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and congrats to Mr. Hope. Dr. Zawadi.
The only thing I have in addition to my written report is I did receive confirmation from the state that all of the Pennsylvania alternate state assessments have been submitted for our district. It's all electronic this year, so it wasn't like I was able to see a box of, tests heading out the door, but they were able to send confirmation that everything's completed on our end.
Good deal. Ms. Scaler.
Sure. In addition to my written report, Thursday night we have a fun night here at the elementary school. We have our art show starting at 6, the band and chorus, which is 5th and 6th grade, concert starting at 7, and the book fair will be open from 6 until 7:30. A few outside agencies like our 4-H and I believe Victim Services are having some tables and information items for parents as well, and families. So if you're available, come on out. Kids had some concerts today, or the K-2 concert was today. 3 through 4 is tomorrow, and they're just, really into their summer and spring songs, and Mr. Sagaty's doing a wonderful job with them, so that's all.
Awesome. Mr. McMahon.
Just a couple things. You notice maybe up front, we are working on the landscaping and trying to get the change to outvoted the red, which has been used for years for around the trees. The principal decided they want to change up the color, so I think it looks good, and we're working on that. That should be done here shortly. Mr. O'Connor is supposed to be here this week to start cutting trees. Other than that, we're moving forward.
Good deal. Mr. Mavis.
Nothing beyond my written report this month.
Mr. Linder.
Well, we've had a crush of activity. It's great to see so many people back in the building. This Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the AD asked about having a doubleheader baseball game on Thursday, and I was like, we already have softball, soccer, book fair, concert. We just don't have the space for all, all in one night. But it's great to see, a packed house every day. And our staff reacts well to it. They know, well, I'm parking in the back. So, so we can have space for parents and grandparents, and everyone can come into the concerts. And this renovated auditorium has just been excellent for that. The acoustics in here are just so much better than they used to be. Listening to the high school concert, you can hear every instrument from the band. It used to be swallowed up on that stage, but and the temperature, much better in here than it used to be, if you remember. Yeah, it's just a much better space to host. So I'm excited to get these few things. Lance said that Jason from Guyette is scheduled to come up to put in the sound. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're at that last piece.
We still need the lighting for it too.
Yeah.
That still hasn't happened.
Additionally, all our PSSAs are sent back. Lynn is working on finishing up the keystones this week. So we'll have all of that testing in. It's from the time that they're scheduled and the time that you're able to start testing, these districts that end before Memorial Day, I don't see how they get it all in because it's just testing right up into the end. So yeah, we're having a good end of year. So a crush of activity, but it's a good end.
Awesome. Yeah, I came to the talent show on Friday, which was pretty awesome. There's a lot of talented kids, and it was pretty impressive. Some of those kids are pretty young to be getting up on stage and playing instruments and singing and stuff.
And we're guessing next year there will be probably quite a few more that participate.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
We haven't been able to do it for a couple of years, so.
So where does he get the comedy from?
He's
I don't
had
know.
that.
Look who we get to make fun of.
Yeah. Have you ever spent some time with me, Doug? I forgot to mention, this is David Kahn. He's with Sweet Stevens. He's actually here in place of John Audi for tonight.
Hello.
It is the unique, not to go off on a tangent, it is the uniqueness of having them represent us that we had talked about previously, is that they have a large firm with a lot of different opportunities and different lanes of professional, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Disciplines, I would say.
Discipline is a good word, yeah.
They have the ability to kind of bend and move, and if we have questions or someone's out on vacation or something, there's always someone available almost instantaneously. So that's really awesome. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, sure. I spent a lot of time in Bradford County, so Sullivan County is actually a slightly shorter drive.
Good deal. It's an hour to anywhere. Is there any public input, Lance?
No, not this time.
So we have to go into a short executive session, and I promise it will be short. Normally, I do not like to do that unless there's something that comes up within a short period of time. So we have to just break for a few minutes, and I don't know what's easier. I'm going to say it's easier for us to just move. So we'll be back in, say, 10 to 15 minutes. Doug, if you want to join us, that'd be great.
No, it's just.
Good to go. All right, thanks, sorry about that. We'll go right into finance.
Okay. Finance Committee recommends the acceptance of the following reports. Treasurer's Report number 10 for April, Cafeteria Fund for April, Building Fund for April, Capital Projects Fund for April, SCES Activities Fund Quarterly Report, SCHS Activities Fund Quarterly Report, and SCHS Athletic Fund Quarterly Report, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Does anyone have any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of check registers and April budget summary for a total $1,122,370.97, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the following auditorium payment recommendations from MHE Engineering, $4,284.11, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the following athletic entrance payment recommendations. MHE Engineering, $2,031, and I so move.
Second.
Have we
Motion.
not heard, sorry, have we not heard back from them yet?
Yeah, we have. They're moving forward
Okay.
with plans, and I'm meeting with Audrey Bear this Friday at 9:30 for financing. And included in the budget is actually her estimates for the additional financing. So it's all in there.
Were they also going to look at some of the last minute changes that we were recommending?
Yeah.
That's part
yeah,
of the
yeah,
alternate.
Yeah, that's part of the bid alternate. They're requesting a bid alternate.
Awesome. All right.
So with that, do we have like, does that give us a starting time or?
Well, we haven't even got the drawing of the other option yet.
Yeah, what they'll be doing now is coming up, designing that bid alternate, and then having the others. And then the next step would be to go out to bid, so.
Good. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the following account custodians for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. The high school principal, SCHS Activity Fund and Athletic Fund. The elementary principal, SCES Activity Funds. Business manager, Cafeteria Fund, Building Fund, and Capital Project Fund, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the following purchase agreements for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. Number 1, PEPPM. Number 2, CoStars. Number 3, CSIU Joint Purchasing Council. Number 4, State and Federal Surplus. Number 5, State Contracts. And number 6, Blast IU-17 Purchasing Consortium. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the following dispensaries for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. M&T Bank, General Fund, Payroll Fund, Capital Reserve Fund, and Purser's Reserve Fund. Number 2, CNN Bank, Athletic Fund, Cafeteria Fund, SCES and SCHS activity funds, scholarship trust funds and capital projects fund. Number 3, People's State Bank scholarship trust funds. Number 4, PA Liquid Government Investment Trust, general fund investments. Number 5, PA District Liquid Asset Fund, Building Fund, and General Fund investments. And number 6, State Treasurer's Investment Trust, General Fund investments. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the following bonds for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. Board Secretary, $5,000. Assistant Board Secretary, $5,000. Board Treasurer, $5,000. Blanket Bond, $10,000. Earned Income Tax Collector, $30,000. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the continuing a student accident insurance program for the 2022-2023 school year with Henry Dunn Agency. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the PSBA renewal contract for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the PARSS renewal contract for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the PSNI nurse software renewal contract for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the government software services contract for the school real estate billing for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the KPN bid for ultra-low sulfur diesel for the 2022-2023 school year at $3.37.1 per gallon for 45,000 gallons, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Doug, just clarifying, all the contracted transportation, they have access
Yeah.
to that. Is that how?
They each have a card, and we sell it to them at cost. So, that's compliant with all the rules for the state. So whatever the cost is, when we add winterizer, then that cost moves up for them. That's only usually like 2 cents per gallon or 2.5. But yeah, we sell it to them at our cost.
Do we track the individualized usage?
Yes, by bus and by contract.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, that was one of my concerns, you know, and I'm just putting it out there, is, you know, right now we're selling it at 204. So, you know, we have to make sure that we're only consuming historical averages and that we're not untanking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why.
So, yeah, I've watched that throughout this year. And we just got our, you know, that's 6 loads of 75,000 or 7,500 gallons. And we just tanked up this past week, and that's our normal time to do it. You know, we usually carry it over the summer through summer school, and we usually don't get diesel again until September. So we're right in there. Now, we've had a few more trips this year than we have in other years, simply because we're running athletics and field trips and that sort of thing. But
We'll have extra mileage next year too, right? Because of 154.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How much is our capacity out there?
That tank?
Yeah.
It's 12,000, but it's a double tank, so you're limited to 10, and then you have to have expansion space. So usually what I'll do is watch it. There's a meter on it, and I usually drive by there daily and just check where the meter is. And then, you know, I've got a chart in my office, and you track that. In the winter, we let it get low to the point that we can drop some kerosene on the bottom and then diesel on top, as well as treatment. So we usually know where we are on that tank.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the donation of playground equipment with approximate value of $3,691 from the SCES PTO, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? I'd just like to say thanks. That's pretty awesome addition. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Finance Committee recommends approval of the 2022-2023 proposed final budget at $17,529,000 and $429,457. The budget will be available for public inspection at the district office and may be amended until its final adoption. The final adoption of the budget is scheduled for June 21st, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on the budget? All in favor?
I think we need a roll call.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
This is for P.
Yes.
Blasi,
Yes.
Derlin,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan, King,
Yes.
McCusker, yes. Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carried.
The Finance Committee recommends approval of resolution number 2022-1, establishing tax rates for the 2022-2023 fiscal year as follows. Real estate tax at 13.79 mils. That's an increase of 3.4 mil increase, percent mil increase. Act 511, earned income tax at 1%. That's no change, and that's shared with the townships and boroughs. And number 3, real estate transfer tax at 1%, no change, and that's shared with the townships and boroughs. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
This is for Q.
Q.
Blasi,
Yes.
Derlin,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan, King,
Yes.
McCusker, yes. Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carried.
The Finance Committee recommends approval of resolution number 2022-2, homestead, farmstead exclusion, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? Roll call.
This is for R. Flossie,
Yes.
Derwin,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan, King,
Yes.
McCusker. Yes. Forgot that was me for a second. Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carried.
And unfortunately, that's all for finance. I was getting into a groove.
Athletics and health. Sir?
Item A, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends approval of extracurricular and co-curricular advisors for the 22-23 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I move to motion to table item B, the recommending approval of coaching positions for the 22-23 school year.
Second.
Motion and a second to table item B. Any questions? Roll call.
Flossie,
Yes.
Derwin,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan, King,
Yes.
McCusker, yes. Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
8 yeses to table B.
Motion carried.
Item C, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends approval of the list of volunteer coaches for the 22-23 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That is all for Athletics and Health.
Buildings and grounds?
A, information, the following district organizations submitted use of facilities requests. The Sullivan County High School Yearbook wants the use of the Sullivan County High School Auditorium. The Sullivan County Elementary Music Department wants use of the Sullivan County High School Auditorium. Class of 2022, the Sullivan County High School Auditorium. Class of 2022, the Sullivan County High School Gymnasium. Sullivan County High School Athletic Booster Club, cross-country course. The Sullivan County High School and the Sullivan County Elementary Music Departments would like the use of the Sullivan County High School Auditorium, gym, and cafeteria.
And in your folders this evening, there were two that were received after we sent this out. It's the National Honor Society for this Friday evening, and it's the Guidance Department for a scheduling day. So we wanted to make sure you knew that since they were happening in the month of May here.
I have a question, Doug.
Yeah.
Did you receive one from, for a Sullivan County Legion baseball team?
We did, that came up last week with, we needed to get some more information. We haven't gotten that yet with, do you remember?
Oh, it was dates or something.
With working, how
Yeah.
we're gonna work out with the Little League.
Because both Little League and them just have like April to August or something, and we wanted to make sure that we had something in there that they would be coordinating between each other for when they use the ball field.
Yeah.
So,
Can I make a,
Oh, okay, well, we didn't know.
can I make a recommendation? I don't, I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Yeah.
Only because the potential exists that Legion Ball will lose a month, which will almost be unrecoverable. Potentially, I don't know how, if we can add something that would just say contingent upon, or give them,
Yeah, they, by the time they get it in, and by the time our next meeting,
yeah, so we'll either have
We
to have a
had it
special
last
meeting
week.
to approve it, or
You-
we'll have to.
It doesn't, it looks like you've already delegated to the administration the facilities use. That's why this is not a motion item, it's an information item.
Well, that's because
this
these are
is an outside
internal.
group.
Yeah, so like if we have an outside group, then the board approves
Right,
that.
which the Legion would be, okay.
Because conveniently,
Can you
I run the
describe
Little League.
what the request
and
is,
he's-
Aaron?
He's
And then-
head of Legion, so.
I do them both.
We'll work it out.
So, you know, Taylor's helping me with the Legion, well, he's gonna mainly do it, I'm helping him more or less, but as far as scheduling goes, that won't be an issue as far as to coordinate.
So is
yeah.
it just use of the field?
The
Is that
field
all?
and the
No, it was-
concession stand.
Okay, so because of the way they changed the Sunshine Act, you can do this, but you have to do it in 2 steps. So someone will have to make a motion to amend the agenda to add approval for both groups, I guess?
Well, one already has approval.
Okay, so just contingent on, successful resolution of any conflict, or schedule conflicts. But first, we have to make a motion to amend the agenda, then we make the motion to actually approve
Okay,
the
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then you can go ahead and make a motion.
I make the motion to allow the Sullivan County Legion team access to our field and concession stand through their facilities use request.
Second.
Should we add just
Contingent on-
contingent
yeah.
upon communication with
Well, if you-
already approved?
Okay, contingent upon communication with Little League, Little League use of the facilities.
And I think just to be clear, we have to do that or else their season won't exist.
Right, and and that should be in the minutes. That's why it needed to be
Yeah.
added to tonight's agenda.
Because if they wait, we either have to have a special meeting to get it going. If we wait till June, they won't have a season.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion and a second? Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, we don't want to keep anyone from using. it.
Oh, no, it's, I think everyone's.
But, like, when we have an approved request, and then someone's requesting the same, we're not just gonna,
Yeah, no, it's, and I think just the other.
put them in conflict.
Another point of clarity is I know the volunteers that tried putting it together just got it to the point, you correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, just got it to the point where they had enough kids to actually build the team. So they've been kind of recruiting, trying to get kids to go out. And again, conveniently, Aaron's actually coaching the juniors team, so I'm pretty sure if he talks to himself, which he normally does, he'll be able to coordinate the scheduling on the field. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Good deal.
I'll let them know. Okay. All right, item B, administration recommends approval of the Sullivan County High School Gymnasium roof recover proposal from Weatherproofing Technologies Incorporated in the amount of $242,710.23 to be paid from the Capital Reserve Building Fund account. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second, any questions? Chris, is Weatherproofing Technologies part of Tremco, or is?
Yeah, well, actually, Weatherproof Technologies actually merged with Tremco. I think that actually kind of happened even before I started here. But yes, they are sister company.
Does, I can't remember, maybe you already answered this question, but we have like a preventative maintenance contract with them, right? Does it cover this same, will it be part of this work as well?
No.
No.
The maintenance contracts that we have are periodic maintenance contracts. They come up and they do a physical check on the roofing. A lot of the roofs have the white coating on them, which is actually painted on, so the urethane, peeling, they repair any of that stuff, that kind of stuff, but it doesn't go towards anything towards the roofing project itself.
I guess my question is, once they're done, will this fall under
They
the
will,
maintenance?
it'll have
would-
20-year warranty.
It'll have a 20-year warranty, but it would be eligible for one of their TRICARE
Correct.
programs, because that's one of the last roofs that's actually a build-up roof.
Right.
All of the others are either EPDM or TPO, so.
But generally, with the warranties, as far as what I've experienced so far, with new roof projects, is that they make any adjustments, if they make repairs where it's not necessary to carry an additional policy on it, probably until like year 10.
Do they do periodic checks on it?
Yes. So, I mean, this year, if this happens, they won't probably do anything until next year, the spring of next year. Unless something arose, unless it was an issue.
Okay. Thanks.
When will it start?
Well, that all depends on whether we decide. Now, when I talked to them, we've discussed this a little bit before, that there was some concerns about material and getting material. What they're doing here in this project they're hoping to get it, to start midsummer, but they don't know that for sure. But so they asked me if necessary, could they continue the roof project during the start of school?
The start of school, yeah.
During the start of school. So, yeah, they could, because what's going on above, the basic underlayment and the suspension of the ceiling itself isn't being touched. That's all staying as is. So everything's above that. So they could continue working on that. I would have to pin that down once they know. I mean, he emailed us wanting to know how we were making out, because the sooner they get it on deck, the sooner they know that they're going to be able to get started with it. So,
Do they have a time frame for how long?
completion?
Yeah, for once it starts?
Well, it's, of course, it's going to be driven by that to some degree, the supply. But generally, that roof, with the good weather and good conditions, it would be done in less than 10 days. So, but it's all going to be driven on weather and supplies.
Does that include tear down?
Yep.
And then applying?
Yep. That
Yep,
includes,
when
everything's
they-
included in
When they did this roof, which this is slightly smaller than that one, it was a quick operation.
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And this is a state bid project. So
Correct.
when they had their contractors come in, essentially, it's pre-bid, so it doesn't need to go out for bid.
Yeah, they filed with the state and all that stuff, as far as the bidding process is concerned. Weatherproof Technologies do all the paperwork, do all the legal work, all the engineering drawings that are necessary. So that's all done. It's all packaged.
All right. Roll call, please.
This is for Building and Grounds
B.
B.
Right.
Blasi,
Yes.
Derlin,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan, King,
Yes.
McCusker, yes. Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carried.
And I just wanted to reflect that that's the building fund, that's not the capital project fund. So this is the money that we have for building projects that we take out of our general fund. So this isn't touching those other funds.
That's it.
All right. Curriculum.
Yep. Curriculum and Student Activities, item A. The Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of the list of potential graduates from the class of 2022. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item B, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends acceptance of an agreement with Blast IU 17 for EQUIP online learning services for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item C, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends acceptance of an agreement with Keystone College for dual enrollment classes for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Second?
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of Megan Bohinski as the District Federal and State Liaison for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Second?
Motion and a second. Questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And that's all for Curriculum and Student Activities.
Thank you.
Okay. A, the Personnel Committee recommends approval of the Technology Support Work Compensation Request paying SCESPA employees the SCEA Technology Support Work Rate of $25 per hour, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions on that?
Who are these people?
Yeah, it's somebody on the support contract. We have on the professional contract, technology work, someone that would come in to help Lance provision computers or load software. Or
It's usually work that I do, it's mostly used in the summertime. I'll have, I'm able to use teachers to come in and kind of augment my staffing. It's just me, so they'll do work, from anywhere from like helping me hang projectors to, provision computers when they come in, to help prepare for in-service sessions. That was initially added into the contract after the CFF grants expired. When we first started bringing computer carts in, part of the CFF grant allowed for, or teachers were designated kind of as, technology coaches that would be expected to help in the summer. When those grants ended, the $25 per hour was added into the professionals contract. And then this request allows us to pay our paraprofessional staff to perform the same work if they're so interested. So they only work at my discretion. It's not like they'll just come in and do random tasks. That would be something where, I'd invite them to come in. If they're so willing over the summer, then that would allow us to pay both the paraprofessionals and the professional staff members the same rate.
Anyone else? Roll call?
This would be personnel, item A. Lassie?
Yes?
Derlin?
Yes.
Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Hannah?
Yes.
Jordan? King?
Yes.
McCusker, yes. Nolan?
Yes.
Stockdale?
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carried.
The Personnel Committee recommends approval of an MOU with the SCEA for Griffin Cyber Academy Evaluator Services for the 2022-2023 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions on that?
What's an MOU?
Memorandum of Understanding. The Griffin Cyber Academy, it's essentially the same agreement that we signed last month so we could pay out our teachers that are doing the Griffin Cyber Academy for this year. When we settled the teacher contract for the next 4 years, it refers to this MOU, and it's exactly the same MOU, but it just has new dates on it for next year. So like each year that we would have this Griffin Cyber Academy, we would have to have a new MOU for those services because it's,
In addition to their contract.
yeah.
special.
Sorry, do we have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
C, the Personnel Committee recommends approval of the following supplemental contracts for summer 2022. 2 days for wood shop, Michael Comroe. 2 days for metal shop, Michael Comroe. 5 days for the elementary library, Beverly Faust. 5 days for the high school library, Aaron Schultz. 5 days for the high school guidance, Caitlin Southard. And 5 days for the elementary guidance, Laura Feaster. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And item D, the Personnel Committee recommends the approval of the presented contract with Douglas Lindner as superintendent for the Sullivan County School District effective July 1st, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Just a couple quick comments. We did have the contract that you guys have all seen. There's a copy of it in your folder. There were two minor, what I would call just grammar errors. On page 13, in Appendix B, under Standard 9, Objective Performance and Standards, the original, there was the word agree should have been agreed, so we added a D. I know that's super minor, but it is a employment contract. And then on page 16, under Standard 6, Ethics, in the original PDF format, the words professional integrity came after equitable manner with personal and professional integrity. It actually got hidden in the original document, so it was added back in. So they were the only changes that were made outside of all the other conversations that we had, which brought us to this finalized contract. Just wanted to clarify that. And also, if anyone has any further questions, since this was final copy was presented. Good to go?
There we go.
Roll call, please.
Blossy,
Yes?
Derlin,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan, King,
Yes.
McCusker, yes. Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carried.
Thank
There you
you.
go.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey, there was one thing we did want to go over with. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
No, congratulations. Nothing on policy and procedure unless someone has something they need or want to add. Aaron? You good?
Yeah.
And transportation, the Transportation Committee recommends the approval to add May 18th, 20th, and 23rd of 2022 to the activity bus schedule, and I so move.
We
Second.
get that approved. It's tomorrow.
Second.
It's all about timing. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Yeah, I had been questioned about that, and I said, since it's actually a contract, the board would have to have action. So that's, and so next year, when we start thinking about next year, if the athletic director, we start, along with the administrators, we start putting the program together. If they need those extra days, then we'll do that ahead of time instead of,
The day before.
yeah.
Transportation Committee recommends approval of the extended school year transportation agreements, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll go on to board reports. I just wanted to make one announcement, is that at the end of last week's committee meeting, the board did go into executive session following the meeting for personnel discussion. Anthony, anything you'd like to talk about?
Over the next 2 weeks, I'll coordinate with Doug and the Athletics and Health Committee to set up a work session to go over coaching positions. And that is all.
Thank you. Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yep.
Aaron?
I think I'm good.
Krista?
I have nothing.
Mary Louise?
Curriculum committee, our next work session is Monday, June 13th at 4 p.m. So just anyone is welcome to join if they would like to. That's it.
Awesome, thanks.
You said June 14th?
13th.
Yep, June 13th, Monday.
Heather?
Nothing.
Based on something.
Mr. Stockdale?
I just did one thing. Had the fortunate experience of seeing 2 of the 3 kindergarten classes invading my territory, and made me feel good because they were all about my size, and very well behaved and very nice groups. I liked seeing them. The teachers had them well organized, and
Yeah, they were exploring community helpers within our
yeah,
communities. They had a great time.
yep,
It's
very
good to
good.
hear.
I have 2 things. One, Doug, sorry for the time frame I think that it took us to go back and forth and effectively get you on board. I know it was probably stressful for you because this thing seemingly has drug on, but I think the board actually did a really nice job of looking at all of the potential roadblocks and hindrances that we had from past contracts and past experiences and kind of integrated them into what we felt to be a really solid contract for the superintendent. So sorry if you were biting your nails at any point in time, but we kind of agreed that we were going to hammer this out in May so that he had time to prepare. The one thing that does allow us to do more now than it did when he was acting superintendent is to begin the process of planning, goal setting, board retreat, where we can actually get into some of the vision and discussions about what the future of the district is. Not that we actually couldn't have those discussions prior, but I think that we've done a nice job in a very short period of time. If you think about it, it seems like it's been forever, but the transition of the board was really only December.
6 months.
So we're in 5th month, going into our 6th month, and I think we've accomplished a lot. That leads me to my second thing. I just want to say, personally, I think that the culture of the district has really changed over the course of the last few months. I think that there's always stuff to work on, but I personally just have noticed the small things, like my kids are here every day, and every day somebody forgot something, or they left something at home, or left it on the roof of the car, or whatever happens. And I think that there's I don't know, the culture is just good. Like, you can make a phone call, you can call their teacher, you can get in the building, for God's sakes, right? And there's just the things that used to be major deals and hurdles, I don't think are as major and hurdles any longer. So that's a noticeable difference in my opinion. So I think it's awesome. I know there's a lot of stuff we want to do and there's a lot of stuff to do, but if you look at the changes that have been made, they're pretty short-lived in regards to the time span and the accomplishments of some of the things that the school, the administration, the parents have accomplished. So I wanted to say that tonight with the official transitioning into Doug as superintendent. That's all I have. Any public input from the singular public? I know there's people watching. It is awesome. David, we had a conversation today because he's like, oh, is this a virtual meeting? But I think we're just going to continue the virtual option. It's awesome that people can always dial in. Plus, it gives the board, some of us travel and have different things going on. Shelley couldn't make it either way tonight, but regardless, it does give you the opportunity, even if you're on the road or somewhere else, you can dial in, so we'll continue that as long as we can. And the new format without having the headsets seems to be working a little better. Good stuff. Anybody else? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
A little bit of trivia, Robert's rules.